Emily was pregnant. Michael found out the same day Sarah's attorney sent the first divorce letter. Sarah signed the paperwork on a Thursday morning. David Chen, her attorney, slid 3 copies across his desk. The room smelled like coffee and printer toner. Sarah's hand shook when she picked up the pen. David noticed but did not comment. He had seen this 1,000 times. The hand always shakes on the first signature. She signed her name 3 times. Once for the petition, once for the financial affidavit, once for the service waiver Michael would never sign but the court required anyway. David collected the pages without ceremony. He said the papers would be couriered to Michael's office by end of business today. Sarah nodded. She asked if she could sit in the conference room for a few minutes before leaving. David said of course. He closed the door behind him. Sarah sat alone in a room with a view of the parking lot. She watched cars pull in and out, people going to meetings, people going to lunch, people whose biggest problem today was traffic or a delayed email. She thought about texting her sister. She opened the message thread. She stared at the empty text box. She put the phone back in her pocket. She drove home. The house was quiet. Michael was at work. He would be at work until 6, maybe later if he stopped somewhere first. He had been stopping places first a lot recently. Sarah walked through the living room. She stood in the kitchen. The coffee cup was in the sink, the one with the lipstick stain that was not hers. She had left it there on purpose. She wanted to see if he would notice, if he would say anything. He never did. She started packing. Not everything, just enough. At 2:47 that afternoon, Michael's phone buzzed during a budget meeting. He glanced at the screen under the table. Emily. The message said, "We need to talk. Today. It's important." Michael excused himself to the restroom. He called her from the stairwell. Emily answered on the first ring. Her voice sounded different, tight. She said she could not talk on the phone. She needed to see him, in person, tonight. Michael said he had plans. Emily said it could not wait. Michael heard something in her voice he had not heard before. He said, "Okay. Where?" She said the parking garage behind Nordstrom. 7 p.m. She hung up before he could ask why there. Michael went back to the meeting. He did not hear a word for the next 30 minutes. The courier arrived at Michael's office at 4:15. The receptionist signed for the envelope. She brought it to Michael's desk. It was a standard manila envelope. His name and title printed on a white label. No return address, just a law firm name in small print at the bottom. Chen and Associates. Michael opened it. He read the first page twice, the second page once. He did not read the third page. He put the papers back in the envelope. He sat very still. Someone knocked on his door. He did not answer. They knocked again. He said he was on a call. They left. At 6:30, Michael drove to the Nordstrom parking garage. He parked on the 3rd level near the elevator. Emily's car was already there. She was sitting inside. He got out. She got out. They stood between their cars. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Somewhere below them, a car alarm went off, and then stopped. Emily looked at him. She said she was pregnant. Michael did not say anything. Emily said she found out 3 days ago. She took 2 tests, both positive. She went to a clinic yesterday. They confirmed it. 8 weeks. Michael leaned against his car. He said her name. Just her name, like he was trying to remember who she was. Emily started crying. She said she did not plan this. She said she did not know what to do. She said she needed to know what he wanted. If he wanted to be involved. If he wanted, Michael said Sarah filed for divorce today. Emily stopped talking. Michael said the papers came to his office 4 hours ago. Emily stepped back. She said what? Michael said Sarah knows. She has known for a while. He does not know how long. The papers said irreconcilable differences. They said Sarah was seeking full custody of their assets and a division of their shared accounts. They said a hearing was scheduled for next month. Emily put her hand over her mouth. She said, "Does she know about me?" Michael said he did not know. Probably. The papers did not say. Emily said, "Oh my God." She said this over and over. "Oh my God. Oh my God." Michael said he needed to go home. Emily grabbed his arm. She said, "Wait, what about this? What about the baby?" Michael looked at her hand on his arm. He said, "I do not know. I need time to think." Emily said, "We do not have time." Michael pulled his arm back. He said, "I know. He did not finish the sentence. He got in his car. He drove away." Emily stood in the parking garage alone. She got back in her car. She did not start the engine. She sat there for 20 minutes. Then she drove home. Michael pulled into his driveway at 8:13. The porch light was off. That was unusual. Sarah always left the porch light on. He unlocked the front door. The house was dark. He turned on the hallway light. The living room looked wrong. It took him a moment to realize why. The bookshelf was half empty. The photo frames on the side table were gone. The throw blanket Sarah kept on the couch, gone. He walked into the bedroom. Her side of the closet was missing entire sections. Not everything, but enough. Enough that it was obvious. He went back to the kitchen. He turned on the light. There was an envelope on the counter. Same kind as the one that came to his office. His name written in Sarah's handwriting. He opened it. Inside was a copy of the divorce petition. A note was paperclipped to the front page. The note said, "You'll get the official copy at work. I wanted you to have one here too. I'm staying at a hotel for the next few days. My lawyer will contact you about next steps. Please don't call me. I'll reach out when I'm ready." That was all. Michael set the note down. He saw the coffee cup in the sink. The one with the lipstick stain. It was still there. He had seen it this morning. He had seen it yesterday morning. He had not thought about it. Or maybe he had thought about it and chosen not to think about it. There is a difference. If you're still watching this, you've probably realized something. Sarah did not confront Michael the moment she found out. She did not scream. She did not throw anything. She planned. She consulted an attorney. She made decisions while Michael thought everything was still manageable, still controllable, still something he could explain his way out of if it ever came to that. That's the part people get wrong about betrayal. The confrontation is not the hardest part. The silence before it is. He pulled out his phone. 15 missed calls from Emily. He had silenced his phone on the drive home. He did not listen to the voicemails. He sat down at the kitchen table. He put his head in his hands. This is the thing about consequences. They do not arrive one at a time. They do not wait for you to process the first one before the second one shows up. They compound. Emily was 8 weeks pregnant. Sarah had been planning this for he did not know how long. Weeks, maybe. She moved her things out while he was at work. She timed the papers to arrive on the same day he would be unreachable. She knew him well enough to know he would not check his phone during the budget meeting. She knew him well enough to destroy him efficiently. Michael looked at the note again. "Please don't call me. I'll reach out when I'm ready." He called her anyway. It went straight to voicemail. He hung up. He called again. Voicemail. He sent a text. "Sarah, please. We need to talk. Please." The message showed delivered. Not read. Just delivered. He called Emily. She answered immediately. She said, "Where did you go?" She said, "I've been calling you for an hour." She said, "We need to figure this out." Michael said, "I can't do this right now." Emily's voice went sharp. She said, "You can't do this right now. Are you serious?" Michael said, "I'm sorry. I need to think." Emily said, "Think about what? About whether you want to be a father? About whether I matter? About—" Michael hung up. He sat in the kitchen. The coffee cup was still in the sink. He walked over. He picked it up. The lipstick stain was faint but visible, a shade Sarah did not own. He turned on the faucet. He washed the cup. He dried it. He put it back in the cabinet. He does not know why he did that. Maybe because it was the only thing in the house he could still control. Maybe because he thought if he cleaned it he could clean the rest of it too. Make it disappear. Reverse it somehow. It did not work. Sarah did not call him that night. Or the next day. Or the day after that. Michael left 6 voicemails. He sent 12 texts. All of them went unanswered. Her lawyer sent an email. It said all communication should go through their office from this point forward. It said Sarah had requested no direct contact. It said any attempt to contact her directly would be documented and could be used in custody proceedings. Custody proceedings. They did not have kids. The email meant custody of their shared life. Who gets the house? Who gets the car? Who gets to keep the version of the story where they are not the one who destroyed everything? Emily called him every day, sometimes twice a day. She needed to make a decision about the pregnancy. She needed to know if he was going to be involved. She needed answers. Michael did not have answers. He had 2 envelopes on his kitchen counter and a coffee cup in the cabinet that used to have a stain on it. 3 weeks later, Emily made the decision without him. She kept the baby. She told him in a text message. She said she understood he was dealing with a lot. She said she did not expect anything from him. She said if he wanted to be involved, he could be. If he did not, she would manage on her own. She said she thought he should know. That was all. Michael read the message 5 times. He did not respond. Sarah's lawyer sent the financial disclosures. Michael had 30 days to respond. He missed the deadline. The lawyer sent a follow-up. Michael filed for an extension. He got 2 weeks. He spent the 2 weeks sitting in his kitchen staring at the cabinet where the coffee cup used to be. If you've made it this far, maybe you're wondering what the point of this is, whether Michael ever responded, whether Sarah ever took his call, whether Emily's baby was born healthy, whether any of them ever figured out how to live with what they did and what was done to them. I don't know. The story doesn't end cleanly. Most stories don't. What I know is this. Sarah signed the papers on a Thursday morning. Emily told Michael she was pregnant on a Thursday evening, and somewhere between those 2 moments, Michael lost the ability to pretend he could fix it. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't ask for your permission to destroy you. It just does. The coffee cup is still in the cabinet. Sarah never came back for it. Michael never threw it away. Some things stay exactly where you left them, even after everything else is gone. If this story stayed with you longer than you expected, maybe share it with someone who gets it. And if you want more stories like this, the ones that don't tie up neatly but feel true anyway, subscribe. I'll be here. The comments are open. I'd like to know what you think happens next.